Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot, folks. I'm outraged by this. Of course, everybody knows that the record cold temperatures that have been gripping much of the nation has caused a lot of havoc and turmoil, disruptions in supply chain, mass casualties in manufacturing plants across America. And also, it's been a real problem for people that are homeless. And this just pissed me off. News 5 out of Chicago, NBC Chicago. Elgin man told to stop slumber parties for homeless during the cold. Get this. It says a suburban Chicago resident who was offering up slumber parties in his basement for homeless people in his neighborhood during dangerously cold weather says city officials gave him an ultimatum. Stop the slumber parties or the house will be condemned. I mean, you want to talk about a lack of empathy. Even say a lack of empathy is just insultingly light when it comes to trying to highlight just the outright evil of what these elected officials, these non-representing representatives at a local level are doing to this poor man. Greg Schiller of Elgin said he began letting a group of homeless people sleep in his unfinished basement last month during brutally cold nights, offering them food, warm beverages, and a cot to sleep on while watching movies. Said I'd stay up all night with them and give them coffee and stuff and feeding them, adding that no drugs and alcohol were allowed inside his residence during the evening events. Last winter, Schiller offered up his garage to area homeless, but said he was told he could no longer do so after EMTs were called to help a man with a heart condition. That's when he had the idea to move it to the basement, complete with all the activities needed to consider them simple slumber parties. Schiller believes city code allowed for slumber parties, but officials said there are sleeping regulations for basements, and Schiller's basement doesn't meet those requirements. Listen to this. Quote, while we appreciate those who volunteer to provide additional resources in the community, Mr. Schiller's house does not comply with codes and regulations that guard against potential dangers such as carbon monoxide poisoning, inadequate light and ventilation, and insufficient exits in the event of fire, said city spokesman Molly Center. Miss Center, let me tell you something. It's a lot of good carbon monoxide poisoning is going to do when somebody's freezing to death outside. As a matter of fact, I would wager to say some of those homeless people would probably prefer carbon monoxide poisoning than they would having to brave the elements in minus 18, minus 20 temperatures. I know I probably would. I'd rather probably huff on a tailpipe. Just saying. Schiller said city officials and police officers came to his home with a warrant Tuesday and went to his basement. There, he said they found his ceiling height too low and windows too high and too small to be an egress. He said they shut me down and I said I have 24 hours to return my basement to storage and take down. I have several cots with sleeping bags for everybody or they'll condemn the house. Center confirmed that Schiller was given 24 hours to clear the basement in an email statement adding, quote, if not, the city will take additional enforcement action to compel the removal of the unlawful basement sleeping area because this guy, right, is doing absolute intense harm to his community, to his house, to his person, and to the people that he's giving shelter to, right? Whose rights have been violated by this? That's the question. Use the no victim, no crime litmus test and tell me, is this or is this not acceptable to you? I would be thrilled to hear your comment or see your comment below. And I know, I get it. My property value would go down if all of a sudden we had all these homeless people around. And, the criminal element from all these homeless people. I get it. I get the fear. But it's time to put fear aside, okay? Time to take the moral high ground and stop thinking so much about ourselves and being self-centered and a little more selflessness out there in society because we desperately need it right now. Desperately. We have become such self-centered, spoiled brats who know what's best for everybody else, that this kind of stuff happens. that 90-year-old people who feed the homeless down in Florida get arrested for feeding the homeless. It's like, stop feeding the animals. What? Are you kidding me? These are human beings. And you haven't walked a day in their shoes. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know what kind of PTSD they suffer with or why they're homeless in the first place. God forbid you are ever in that place where you don't have anybody to turn to, or you have to make the conscious decision to live out on the streets vice live in society. I can't imagine being put in that situation. And I ask everybody out there tonight, especially with another round of crippling temperatures that are going to hit the Northeast in the Midwest this weekend, to fight these idiots in your local city halls and town halls across America where this is happening, and force them to go stay outside for the night if they're going to do this to people. Say, okay, that's fine. We'll put these people out on the street, but you're going out on the street with them. If they're going to brave the cold, you're going to brave the cold. And let's see how fast they change their tune. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Hashtag wake the flock up. Stay warm, please.